Right now, as you watch this, a piece of human technology is 15 billion kilometers from Earth, hurtling through interstellar space at 12 kilometers per second, carrying a golden plaque that aliens might find millions of years from now. It's not Voyager, it's Pioneer 10, the forgotten spacecraft that did everything first. First to Jupiter, first through the asteroid belt, first to leave the solar system, and first to mysteriously slow down in a way that made physicists question the laws of gravity itself. This is the story of the Pioneer probes, humanity's first ambassadors to the cosmos that everyone forgot. NASA had just landed on the moon, but a small team at Ames Research Center was planning something arguably more audacious, sending a probe to Jupiter. The problems were staggering. The asteroid belt might destroy any spacecraft. Jupiter's radiation would fry electronics. The distance meant signals would take 45 minutes each way, and nobody had ever built a spacecraft that could survive the journey. Charles Hall, the project manager, had a budget of just $350 million, pocket change by NASA standards. The Voyager program would later cost 3 times as much. Hall's team had to build spacecraft that would last 4 years minimum, using 1960s technology. Your smartphone has more computing power than everything on Pioneer combined. Here's the insane part. They decided to build 5 Pioneer probes for deep space. Pioneers 6 through 9 would study the Sun. Pioneer 10 and 11 would go to Jupiter and beyond. The entire program cost less than a single space shuttle launch. They were building interstellar spacecraft on a shoestring budget. Pioneer 10 and 11 were identical twins, each weighing just 258 kilograms, lighter than a motorcycle. Their main antenna was a dish just 2.7 meters across. They were powered by radioactive plutonium because solar panels wouldn't work beyond Mars. These weren't sophisticated explorers. They were scouts, designed to answer one question: can we even get there? March 3, 1972. Pioneer 10 launched toward Jupiter, about to attempt something everyone thought was suicide, crossing the asteroid belt. Science fiction had portrayed it as a dense field of tumbling rocks. Scientists genuinely didn't know if a spacecraft could survive. Some estimated a 10% chance of destruction. For 7 months, Pioneer 10 plowed through the belt at 51,000 kilometers per hour. The team at Ames held their breath with every status update. A particle the size of a grain of sand at that speed would punch through the spacecraft like a bullet. But Pioneer's reports kept coming. Still alive, still alive, still alive. On February 15, 1973, Pioneer 10 exited the asteroid belt completely unscathed. Not a single impact. The asteroid belt, it turned out, was mostly empty space. Science fiction had lied. Pioneer 10 had just opened the outer solar system to exploration. Without this success, Voyager would never have been approved. But the real danger was ahead. Jupiter's magnetosphere, a region of trapped radiation that would make Chernobyl look like a tanning bed. The radiation was so intense, it could kill a human in minutes, even inside a heavily shielded spacecraft. Pioneer 10's electronics were basically consumer-grade equipment headed into a nuclear holocaust. December 3, 1973. Pioneer 10 screamed past Jupiter at 132,000 kilometers per hour, passing just 132,000 kilometers from the cloud tops, closer than the distance from Earth to the Moon. For comparison, that's like driving past a nuclear explosion at highway speeds and trying to take photos. What Pioneer saw changed everything. Jupiter wasn't just a big planet. It was a failed star, a massive radiation-spewing monster with a magnetosphere stretching 7 million kilometers. The radiation was 10,000 times stronger than predicted. Pioneer's instruments started failing. The image scanner began producing ghost images, but it kept transmitting. The images were primitive by today's standards, just 500 lines of resolution compared to your TV's 1080. But they showed things nobody expected. The Great Red Spot had structure. The clouds moved in opposite directions at different latitudes. Jupiter was hot. It radiated more energy than it received from the sun. This wasn't a planet, it was a system, with its own weather, its own heat source, almost its own solar system. Pioneer 11 followed a year later, but with a twist. Using Jupiter's gravity, it would slingshot to Saturn, a journey that would take 5 more years. This gravity assist maneuver, routine now, was revolutionary then. Pioneer was teaching NASA how to use planets as accelerators. September 1st, 1979. Pioneer 11 reached Saturn, becoming the first spacecraft to visit the ringed planet. What it found was terrifying for future missions. Saturn's rings weren't solid, they were billions of chunks of ice and rock. Flying through them would be like flying through a shooting gallery. Pioneer discovered the F-ring, a thin ring outside the main system that nobody knew existed. But Pioneer 11's biggest discovery was almost accidental. It found that Saturn's magnetic field was perfectly aligned with its rotation axis, unique in the solar system. It also discovered that Saturn, like Jupiter, radiated more heat than it received. These gas giants were more like stillborn stars than planets. Pioneer 11 also discovered Saturn's magnetosphere was filled with charged particles that could destroy electronics. This data would save Voyager 2's mission. NASA used Pioneer's information to plot a safer course through the Saturn system. Pioneer was the expendable scout that made the glamorous Voyager missions possible. Here's the part that captured imaginations. Both Pioneers carried golden plaques designed by Carl Sagan and Frank Drake. These 15 by 23 centimeter plates showed naked humans, which caused controversy, our solar system's location using pulsars as reference points, and a diagram of hydrogen atoms. It was humanity's first message in a bottle thrown into the cosmic ocean. The plaques were controversial. Some scientists said they were a waste. Others worried about telling potentially hostile aliens where Earth was. The Los Angeles Times refused to print the image because of nudity. But Sagan argued we had a responsibility to announce ourselves to the universe, even if nobody would find the plaques for millions of years. The pulsar map was genius, using 14 pulsars as cosmic lighthouses that aliens could identify. Each pulsar's period was marked in binary code. Any civilization advanced enough to find Pioneer could decode Earth's location and when the probe was launched. It was like leaving GPS coordinates that would work for 100 million years. By the 1980s, both Pioneers were racing toward interstellar space. But something weird was happening. They were slowing down more than gravity predicted, just barely, about 10 nanometers per second squared, but consistently. This Pioneer anomaly drove physicists crazy for 30 years. Was it dark matter? A flaw in Einstein's relativity? New physics? Scientists published over 400 papers trying to explain it. Some thought we'd discovered a fifth fundamental force. The mystery consumed entire careers. Pioneer, the simple probe, was challenging our understanding of the universe. The solution, discovered in 2012, was beautifully mundane. The plutonium power sources radiated heat asymmetrically. This tiny thrust, equivalent to the weight of a grain of sand, was slowing the probes. It took supercomputers analyzing decades of data to figure this out. Pioneer had accidentally become the most precise test of physics ever conducted. January 23, 2003. NASA received the last signal from Pioneer 10. It was 12 billion kilometers away, so distant that its radio signal, traveling at light speed, took 11 hours to reach Earth. The signal was barely detectable, like trying to see a 25-watt bulb from 8 billion kilometers away. After that silence, Pioneer 10's plutonium heart was too weak to power the transmitter. Pioneer 11 had gone silent in 1995. Both probes are still out there, coasting through the darkness at 12 kilometers per second. They'll outlive Earth. When our sun dies in 5 billion years, the Pioneers will still be drifting through interstellar space, carrying their golden messages. Pioneer 10 is heading toward the star Aldebaran. It'll arrive in 2 million years. Pioneer 11 is heading toward the constellation Aquila. They're humanity's first permanent artifacts, monuments that will exist longer than the pyramids, longer than Earth itself, possibly longer than our entire solar system. Here's what frustrates me. Everybody knows Voyager. Nobody remembers Pioneer. Yet Pioneer did everything first. First to Jupiter, first to Saturn, first to leave the solar system, first to carry a message to aliens. Voyager gets the fame because it had better cameras and a golden record instead of a plaque. But without Pioneer, Voyager would never have succeeded. Pioneer proved you could survive the asteroid belt. Pioneer mapped the radiation environments. Pioneer tested the gravity assists. Pioneer found the safe routes through the outer planets. Every deep space mission since has used Pioneer's data. The Mars rovers, Cassini, Juno, New Horizons, they all owe their existence to Pioneer's pathfinding. The program cost less than a modern Hollywood blockbuster, but gave us the outer solar system. These washing machine-sized scouts turned Jupiter and Saturn from points of light into worlds. They proved interstellar travel was possible, even with primitive technology. The Pioneer probes are still out there, silent ambassadors traveling at 12 kilometers per second towards stars they'll never reach. They carry no sophisticated computers, no advanced instruments, just simple messages saying, "We were here, we existed, we wondered." In 40,000 years, Pioneer 10 will be closer to another star than to our sun. It will carry its golden plaque through the galaxy for billions of years, long after humans are extinct or evolved beyond recognition. Some alien civilization might find it and wonder who we were, what we dreamed, why we sent this tiny craft into the void. Pioneer didn't just explore space, it proved we could touch eternity. With 1970s technology and a shoestring budget, we built machines that will outlive our species. That's either humanity's greatest achievement or its most poignant tragedy. So here's my question. If an alien civilization found Pioneer tomorrow, what would they think of us? Would they see explorers or refugees, dreamers or escapists? And knowing that Pioneer will outlive everything on Earth, what message would you have put on that golden plaque?